A very good morning to all of you students. I hope you all are very well. So let's continue with part second of the chapter Our Country India. Let me give you a quick recap of part 1. In part 1 what we have studied regarding the major political division of India. Before independence in 1947 how many princely states were there, and today in 2021 how many states and union territories are there, who all are our neighbor countries, with whom we share our land boundary, okay, etc. So let's continue with part 2, and in part 2 we will study about the major physical division of India. Okay, so let's begin without any delay. Every country is divided into region because it has some basic similar features. And if we talk about the physical feature of India, we will find a variety of physical features, like we will find mountains in the north, desert in the west, plateau in the Deccan region, eastern and western coastal plains, means the area nearby to the sea or ocean, and some wet hills in East Arunachal Pradesh. Okay. So what are the 6 major physical divisions of India? They are: first, the Great Northern Himalayas, the Great Northern Mountains, many different mountain range. Then comes the Northern Plain, and after Northern Plain you will find the Peninsula Plateau or the Deccan Plateau, and then on the left of Peninsula Plateau, on the western part, you will find the Thar Desert, or which is also known as the Great Indian Desert. And after that you will find the 2 coastal plains, the Western Coastal Plain and the Eastern Coastal Plain, which is also known as the Western Ghat and Eastern Ghat respectively. And we have some islands also. And what are these islands? There is a small work for you to find out the islands of India. Okay, let's continue. So here on your computer screen you will find the major physical division of India. That the dark blue part in the north and some in the eastern side, this is the Himalayas. Then green comes the Great Plains. Then on the left or the Rajasthan part is the Great Thar Desert. Then Deccan Plateau. Then there are Western Ghat and Eastern Ghat, and there are 2 group of island which belongs to India, or which is under the administrative control of India. Find from this screen and then answer. Okay, let's move forward. Let's talk about the Great Northern Mountains. They are stretched like a wall, means these mountains act as a wall for our India in the north. And what are these range contains? The Trans-Himalayan range and the Himalayan range. And these ranges lie where these are situated from north of Himalayas, and they have average height of around 6,000 meter above the sea level. The Karakoram is the northmost mountain range of India, means situated at the top mountain range in the north. Second highest peak in India, K2 or Goodwin Austen, which has a height of 8,611 meter, and this lies on the Himalaya mountain range. Now what are Himalayan ranges? It means abode of snow in Sanskrit, means they are permanently covered with snow. You will find 12 months 365 days snow covered. Okay. The Himalayas consist of 3 ranges which are parallel to each other, means 3 lines which you can say. They are broader in the west, means 400 km broad, and when they goes towards the eastern area, the broadness get less, means starting from 400 meter to 150 meter only. There the three ranges of Himalayas are first Himadri, then Himachal, and then the third is the Shivalik. Now let's talk about the Himadri. It is the northmost range of Himalaya. Average height 6,000 meter. Highest peak Everest 8848 meter. Kanchenjunga, Makalu, Dhaulagiri, Nanga Parbat, Annapurna, Nanda Devi. Okay. Let's talk about the Himachal. It is the range that lies to the south of the Himadri. Means first is Himadri, then Himachal, and north the Shivalik. Means in between range of Himadri and Shivalik, known as Himachal. There are many hill stations or tourist destinations known as Shimla, Kullu, Manali, Mussoorie, Nainital, Darjeeling, where tourists go to spend their holidays. Now let's talk about the Shivalik. Southernmost range or the last range of Himalaya. It is also known as the Outer Himalayas, and they are the youngest mountain range of Himalaya mountains. It is made of unconsolidated or loose deposit, and you will find earthquake landslide occurring very soon in this region. They are flat valleys because they are the flat valleys between Himachal and Shivalik, known as dunes. For example, Dehradun, Patli Dun, etc. An outward extension of the Himalaya into the northeast of India forms the Purvanchal region. Means northeast range is known as Purvanchal. Now let's talk about the northern plain. It is the very fertile plains which lies between Himalaya in the north and Peninsula Plateau in the south, between northern plain. It is the most extensive plains in the world, and it has a length, or it is distributed over the length of 2,500 km in Indian region. And it has three river system which drains into this plains: the Ganga, Indus, and the Brahmaputra. And these plains the northern plains is also known as Indo-Gangetic plains. And they have very rich alluvial deposit, which is very suitable, or in other words, we can say very good for cultivation or agriculture purpose. Alluvial deposit are the fine salt, means what this deposit contains: fine sand, silt and clay. When they got mixed together and brought down by the river or with the course of river, and they deposited in some area. An area which is drained by the river system is known as drainage basin or river basin. A river system means what is river system? A main river and its different tributaries or different parts. A tributary is a small river of the main river, and a distributary is a branch of the main river which flows away from the mainstream and does not rejoin it. Tributary gets out from the main river and then joins the main river again. Distributary goes away from the main river and does not rejoin again. And on the basis of drainage system, we can divide the northern plains into three major parts: the Indus Basin, the Ganga Basin, and the Brahmaputra Basin. If we talk about the Indus Basin, it is drained, or it has a river Indus and its tributaries like Jhelum, Chena, Bias, Ravi, Satluj. And where does Indus originate? Near the Lake Mansarovar, and goes into Jammu Kashmir, Himachal and Punjab. Let's talk about the Ganga Basin. The Ganga Basin is drained by the main river Ganga and its tributaries and many distributaries. The northern tributaries of Ganga are, means the other rivers of Ganga are in northern: Ghagra, Gandak, Gomti, Konsi. Yamuna is the main southern tributary of Ganga, means Yamuna is a part of Ganga. And other southern tributaries are Chambal, Betwa, Ken, Sindh and Sang. And the major distributary, who is the major distributary of river Ganga? It is river Hooghly. The Brahmaputra basin, it is drained by river Brahmaputra and its tributaries. It originates from, and where does Brahmaputra river originates? From the Lake Mansarovar and flows through three countries. Means the only river, the river which flows through three countries is Brahmaputra. And what are the three countries? China, India and Bangladesh. And in India, Brahmaputra flows from Arunachal Pradesh and Assam. And the same river Brahmaputra is known by the name Tsangpo in China. Okay. And in Bangladesh, it is joined by the Ganga, known as Padma in Bangladesh, and flows through Bangladesh as Meghna or Jamuna. And if we talk about the Ganga and Brahmaputra together, they form the world's largest delta, which is known as Ganga Delta. And it has one of the world's largest mangrove forests, the Sundarban, which is found in Ganga Delta. And the Sundari trees, they are found, and by the name and because of these Sundari trees, the forest is known as the Sundarbans, and which is the home of very famous Royal Bengal tiger. Let's talk about the Peninsula Plateau. It is shaped as a triangular plateau to the south or to the down of the northern plains, and it is bounded by or surrounded by Aravalli in the northwest, Vindhya and Satpura in the north, Eastern Ghat on the east side, and Western Ghat towards the west or south side. And if we talk about the surface of peninsular region or peninsula plateau, it's very uneven. Means it's not like this. You will find normal plain area throughout this. You will find some uneven, or which we can say थोड़ा सा उबड़-खाबड़ रास्ता area जो होता है वो. There are many rivers which originates in Deccan Plateau, and they flow towards east. And rivers like Narmada and Tapi, they goes to west and mix with Arabian Sea. Peninsular Plateau in three parts: the Malwa Plateau, the Chota Nagpur Plateau, and the Deccan Plateau. Malwa Plateau, west of the Peninsula Plateau region, located from northwards and merges with plains in the north. Tributaries like Ganga and tributaries of Ganga like Chambal and Son, they originate in the Malwa Plateau. Let's talk about the Chota Nagpur Plateau. It is located in northeastern part of Peninsula Plateau, rich in minerals like iron and coal. The Malwa Plateau and the Chota Nagpur Plateau, they together mix and form the Central Highland. Let's talk about the Deccan Plateau. It is triangular in shape and located to the south of Vindhya and Satpura mountain region, means to the or downwards. And it is surrounded by Western Ghat on the west, Eastern Ghat on the east. And there these ghats, these both ghats, they are connected by the Nilgiri mountain in the south. You will find many east flowing river here, means which starts from the Western Ghat and goes into Bay of Bengal, such as Mahanandi, Godavari, Krishna and Kaveri. And there are two rivers which flow towards the west, that is Narmada and Tapi, and they goes and meet Arabian Sea in the west. If we talk about the northern western part of the Deccan Plateau, it is one of the largest lava plateau in the world. Lava is from where? We get lava from volcanoes. The Deccan Tribe, as the region is known as, was formed over millions of years ago by lava flows from the volcanic eruption. Means how it is formed? Means before millions and millions and billions years ago, there was some volcano which erupted, and the lava came out from that volcano. It got distributed in that area, and with the meantime, the land is formed known as the the Peninsula Plateau region. Here you will find the black soil, which was obviously formed by the breaking down of the volcanic rocks or lava, and it is very best suitable for the cultivation of cotton crop. The Deccan Tribe is most important cotton growing region, means here you will find the most important cotton growing region of India. Let's compare the Western Ghat and Eastern Ghat. It is a continuous range discontinued range in Eastern Ghat, rise abruptly from the western coastal plain and form the western edge of the Deccan Plateau, means it rises very abruptly, very steeply from the western coastal plain and they form the edge of the Deccan Plateau. And Eastern Ghat, there is not any fixed structural unity. Okay, it is Western Ghat is also known as Sahyadris in the north and as Nilgiri, Namalai and Karamandal Hill in the south. And Eastern Ghat is known by different names like Mahendragiri, Malayagiri, Nallam Mallai, Kolli Mallai, Javadi Hills, Shevaroy Hills. Average height of Western Ghat 1200 meters. Average height of Eastern Ghat around 900 meters. And they gain height from north to south. And Anni Muddi, it is the highest peak in Western Ghat. And Eastern Ghat, they gain height from south to north, and there is no such important peaks here. And if we talk about the Thar Desert, located in, or also known as the Great Indian Desert, located in the northwestern part of Rajasthan. It is a dry, sandy state. You will find sand dunes in the vast spread area, and it merges with Pakistan. This region get very little rainfall. Let's talk about the coastal plain. There are two coastal plains. The plain lies on the Western Ghat, known as Western Coastal Plain. The one lying on the Eastern Ghat, known as Eastern Coastal Plain. They are very fertile and they are used for different kind of cultivation, agriculture process. And it has those both Western coastal plains have some important ports where waterways ship came, like Mumbai, Chennai, Kolkata. These lie on these different plains. Let's talk about the islands. The first is Lakshadweep Island. Where it is situated? It is situated in Arabian Sea. The Lakshadweep, Minike and Amedvi group of islands, means there are three small islands named by these, where in Arabian Sea, and collectively they form Lakshadweep Island. And by what they are made up of? They are made up of the skeleton of a particular form of marine life. And how the shape? Horseshoe shape, and they are known as atolls. Andaman and Nicobar group of islands, where they are situated in the Bay of Bengal. There are numerous small group of islands, and they are large as compared to Lakshadweep Island. And how did they got their origin? From the volcanic eruption and some submerged hill. So students, here come the end of part 2. In part 1 we have studied about the political division, and in part 2 we have studied about the physical division of India. Okay, I hope you have understood the video. Read your chapter from the book, listen to this video carefully so that you will understand this chapter without any confusion. Okay, till then take care and thank you very much.